Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to talk about Waiting for Godot, Act 2 and important situation number 5. And let's see what this situation is. It is before this situation, we have come across 4 other situations where uh, Estragon and Vladimir are involved. Now we see another actor, another character that is Pozo. So let's see what it is. It is basically Pozo and Lucky. They both return, and they there is certain visible change in their roles. Vladimir says, "What has happened to you?" He questions. Pozo says, "I'm blind." Vladimir says, "And Lucky?" Pozo says he can't speak. So let's talk about this situation. In Act 2, Pozo and Lucky, both of them return to the stage, but they have undergone dramatic changes. Pozo, who was previously powerful, confident, and commanding in Act 1, is now blind. Lucky, who was able to think and speak in Act 1, has become mute. Their sudden transformation shocks Vladimir and Estragon and becomes one of the most significant moments in the play. Now let me uh, explain this dialogue that I've read, and it is also in front of your eyes. When Perso and Lucky first appeared in Act 1, if you recall that, they represented a relationship based on power and dependence. Perso controlled Lucky completely, treating him like a slave. Perso was physically strong, confident, and capable of giving orders, while Lucky obeyed silently until commanded to think or speak. However, when they return in Act 2, everything has changed. Pozo has lost his sight and must depend on others for assistance. Lucky has lost his voice and can no longer communicate. The decline is sudden and unexplained. It emphasizes the unpredictable nature of human existence. Vladimir is shocked because he expects continuity between the two acts. He wants an explanation for what happened. Pozo's simple statement, "I'm blind," offers no reason, only a fact. Similarly, Lucky's muteness is presented without explanation why it happened to both of them. We don't get any kind of reasoning. The transformation demonstrates how quickly fortune can change. A powerful man can become helpless, and a person capable of speech can become silent. Beckett suggests that human beings are vulnerable to forces beyond their control. Now, let me discuss techniques. First one is contrast. Act 1, Pozo is powerful, he's wealthy, he's dominant, and he is independent. But in Act 2, Pozo is blind, he's helpless, he is dependent, and he is vulnerable. Complete change in their character. And let's see Lucky in Act 1. He can speak, he can think, he can perform. But in Act 2, he is silent, he's mute, and he is passive. So the dramatic contrast between both shocks us, the audience, as well as the other characters like Vladimir and Astajan. We keep thinking why it happened, how it happened, but there is no reason, explanation given to us that makes us confused, that makes us shocked. Beckett uses contrast to demonstrate the inability of human existence and the sudden changes brought by time. Number 2 is symbolism. Pozo's blindness and Lucky's muteness, they both are symbolic. Pozo's blindness symbolizes human ignorance, loss of control, and dependence. On the other side, Lucky's muteness symbolizes loss of communication, loss of individuality, and human helplessness. Both conditions represent the limitations and weaknesses of humanity. Together, they suggest that people gradually lose power, certainty, and control as they move through life. Number 3 technique is dramatic shock. If you read this quotation again, I'm blind, the audience does not expect such a dramatic transformation. The person who was very powerful, who was dominating everyone, has become blind. He cannot see anything. He cannot move without any help. He has become dependent. He has lost his independence. So this sudden revelation creates surprise and forces the audience to confront the fragility of human life. Beckett deliberately avoids explaining the cause of the change. It makes it appear arbitrary and absurd. Fourth one is minimalist dialogue. It is the main feature of the whole play. I'm blind, he can't speak. The sentences, the statements are extremely short and direct. So their simplicity increases their emotional impact. Beckett strips language down to bare facts that emphasizes the harsh reality of suffering. Another technique is absurdism. No explanation is provided for the dramatic changes that makes the whole scene absurd. The audience is left with uncertainty and confusion. If you see, this reflects the absurdist belief that life often lacks logical explanation or clear meaning. We keep thinking why it happened, how it happened, but we don't find any answers. Now, let's talk about themes. First one is human suffering. When he says, I'm blind, Poser's blindness is representing physical suffering and decline. Suffering is shown as an unavoidable part of human existence. Beckett presents suffering not as an exception, but as a universal condition. Second theme is passage of time. The transformation of Pozo and Lucky demonstrates the effects of time. Time changes everyone, whether they realize it or not. Unlike Vladimir and Stanton, who appear almost unchanged, Pozo and Lucky visibly reveal the destructive power of time. With the passage of time, both of them change. Next one is mortality and decay. I'm blind, he can't speak. Both characters have lost important human abilities. Without them, their survival becomes difficult, painful. Their condition reflects the gradual decline that accompanies aging and mortality. Beckett reminds the audience that physical and mental deterioration are unavoidable realities of life. Number fourth is dependence. Blindness forces Pozo to depend on others. The former, the formerly powerful master becomes as dependent as the servant he once controlled. Now he's depending upon Lucky, right? He's not independent at all. He has lost his powers. The sense challenges ideas of power and superiority. It shows that all human beings ultimately depend on one another. Fifth theme is uncertainty. Neither the audience nor the characters know exactly why these changes occurred. Life appears unpredictable and beyond human understanding. The scene reinforces Beckett's vision of a world lacking certainty and rational explanation. Let me critically analyze this scene in 2 or 3 paragraphs. The return of Pozo and Lucky is one of the most powerful moments in Waiting for Godot. The dramatic transformation serves as a reminder of the destructive effects of time and the fragility of human existence. Pozo, once a symbol of authority and confidence, becomes helpless through blindness. Lucky, whose long speech in Act 1 displayed intellectual activity, becomes completely silent. Many critics interpret Pozo and Lucky as symbols of humanity itself. Their decline reflects the universal movement from strength to weakness, from vitality to decay, and ultimately toward death. Beckett suggests that no amount of power, intelligence, or social status can protect people from this process. The scene also undermines traditional ideas of stability and progress. The audience they expect continuity between Act 1 and Act 2, but instead encounters a radical challenge without explanation. This unpredictability reflects the absurdist belief that life is governed by chance rather than logic. Ultimately, the transformation of Pozo and Lucky demonstrates one of Beckett's central messages. Human beings are fragile creatures moving inevitably toward suffering, decline, and death. Their blindness and muteness symbolize the limitations of human knowledge and communication. It makes the scene a profound meditation on the human condition. So, if you have any questions, you can inbox me, you can ask me directly. I'll try my best to answer you people. Thank you for watching.